Houston, we have a problem.
Before we get into this video, I want to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, BackupSolarBank.com. What you got here is a beefy backup power bank that can be powered by the sun and through a regular wall outlet. It has a built-in LED flashlight and SOS strobe light features that can be seen far away, a high battery capacity of 20,000 milliamp hours, wireless charging that automatically recognizes most devices, and it has a bi-directional fast charging Type-C port, USB port, and a USB QC 3.0 fast charging output port, which can charge 3 devices at the same time. Do yourself a favor and grab a couple of them for you and your friends. My discount link is in the description below.
Bro, how we going out to eat, trying to have us a nice little brunch? And well, okay, we did get a mimosa. We got some morning buns. We had some fried chicken biscuits and some chicken and waffle and a Topo Chico, and a mother and child reunion. But I don't remember this. What's this? How she just charged us $1 for Ukraine? Ukraine ain't never sent me no dollar without asking me. Haiti you ever took $1 in the name of Haiti? Just without asking people, just go ahead and add it? Why owe Ukraine $1? I ain't agree to this.
I wanted to share this with you. This nurse received a non-compliant termination letter from her healthcare company. Dear team member, we regret to inform you that due to your failure to comply with the Advent Health you-know-what policy, your employment with Advent Health has ended effective April 29th, 2022. Advent Health policies align with the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services mandate, which requires team members working in a covered location to be fully you-know-what against you-know-what, or have received an approval for a requested medical or religious exemption by April 28th, 2022. In a series of communications, we have made all team members working in a covered location aware of the deadline and steps needed to become compliant. Unfortunately, due to lack of compliance, we must separate you from employment with Advent Health. Your final paycheck will be paid to you less applicable taxes and deductions, i.e. purchases from the cafeteria or gift shop, tuition, reimbursement, relocation, etc. via direct deposit or pay card on the standard pay cycle or based on state mandate. Your termination has resulted in the forfeiture of all paid day off benefits as permitted by applicable state laws. All company property, cell phones, laptops, monitors, keys, etc. must be returned to your manager immediately. Should you have additional questions not answered by this letter, please contact your manager or contact Human Resources. We appreciate the contributions that you have made to this organization and to the community. We wish you the best of success in your future endeavors. Regards, Advent Health, Human Resources. You're out of here because you didn't comply. And to add insult to injury, the bottom of the letterhead says, extending the healing ministry of Christ. You didn't bow down to Big Pharma. You're out of here.
We have policies. Do we have guardrails? Do we have standards?
But here's the problem.
Ensure,
we can't even agree. We can't even agree what disinformation is. You can't even agree that it was disinformation, that the Russians fed information to the Steele dossier. If you can't agree to that, how are we ever going to come to an agreement on what is disinformation so you can police it on social media? I think you've got no idea what disinformation is, and I don't think the government's capable of it. Do you know who the greatest propagator of disinformation in the history of the world is? The U.S. government. Are you familiar with McNamara, the Pentagon Papers? Are you familiar with George W. Bush and the weapons of mass destruction? Are you familiar with Iran-Contra? I mean, think of all the debates and disputes we've had over the last 50 years in our country. We work them out by debating them. We don't work them out by the government being the arbiter. I don't want guardrails. I want you to have nothing to do with speech. You think we can't determine speech by traffickers is disinformation? You think the American people are so stupid they need you to tell them what the truth is? You can't even admit what the truth is with the Steele dossier. I don't trust government to figure out what the truth is. Government is largely disseminating disinformation.
I only have 10 seconds left for each of you, if you could. But if they wrap this in the Senate with a Ukraine funding and a COVID funding, you guys okay with that, Congressman Moulton?
Look, I'm going to support it because it's the right thing to do for Ukraine. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of politics involved, and there will be domestic debates here at home about other policies and whatnot. But at the end of the day, we've got to realize we're at war. And we're not just at war to support the Ukrainians. We're fundamentally at war, although it's somewhat through a proxy, with Russia, and it's important that we win.
They say to dress for the job you want, not the job you have. And I want to become a lizard person. I would like to rule you. I'd like to lie to your face and then do something else because it benefits me. I would like to be as corrupt as possible. I would like to enrich myself and then tell you it was for your own benefit. I'm Jeremy Kauffman, and I'm running for U.S. Senate. I'm serious.
Under the guise of a health emergency, we're watching the central banks take over the treasuries and the finances of sovereign governments, and sovereignty of governments being imploded. And we are at a juncture where, as Vera says, we have to stop something. We have to do something, because we cannot let this proceed. If we allow not just the mandates, but the passports or digital IDs or any part of what is considered to be the financial transaction control grid go into place, the combination of those systems together, much of which have been developed for the last 30 years, those systems together will combine into a control grid that can turn our home and our cars into a digital concentration camp. It's what Vera said. We don't need camps. We can use the remote technology to literally turn our own homes, our own cars, and our own communities into digital concentration camps. So we must say no. We must say no to the mandates, but we must say no to the transaction control grid, because that transaction control grid can be used to implement thousands and thousands of meta mandates when it goes into place. You put the passports or the IDs and the CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, together, and they can, if they decide you can't transact more than 5 kilometers from your home, you can't transact more than 5 kilometers from your home. If you can't, if they don't want you driving your car, you can't drive your car. If they don't want you buying pizza, you can't buy pizza. With CBDC as a replacement or a digital currency, they can make the rules of how the currency is used, and they can enforce the rules centrally. Let that sit in centrally. One great activist said that the implementation of the passports is the end of human liberty in the West, and that is in fact true if we let this control grid go in.
Guys, we already know that they want to decimate the dollar, destroy the economy, bring us into a cashless society, and eventually make it difficult for us to even get food. That's why I constantly promote My Patriot Supply. Every chance I get, I turn my fiat currency notes into long-term storable food. This stuff is awesome. It's got a 25-year shelf life. And one thing we're all going to need is storable food. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. With my link in the description, you get $100 off of every order instantly. It'd be a good idea to order it while you can, because I'm not sure how much longer they're going to be able to ship this out. My link for your $100 off discount is in the description below.